Welcome back to everyone. I hope you are all doing fine. Today I am going to explain John Donne's poem, The Canonization. If you have not checked my previous explanation of John Donne's poem, The Good Morrow, I will give the link in the description box below. So before we move on with the poem, we should understand the title. The title indicates Catholic way of making someone a saint. So during the time when Catholics were persecuted, such a title could be very provocative. Catholics were persecuted during the time of Queen Elizabeth. John Donne's own brother died for his religion on the Tower of London. Donne also did not receive his degree from Oxford and Cambridge due to his Catholic faith. He refused to swear an oath of allegiance because it would mean that he would have to sacrifice his Catholic faith. This poem is likely to have been written after the rise of controversy with John Donne's marriage to Anne More. John Donne secretly married Anne More. This was an act landed Donne in prison, and he was expelled from the courtly circles. Let us look at the poem. The first stanza. For God's sake, hold your tongue and let me love, or chide my palsy or my gout, my 5 grey hairs or ruined few fortune flout. With wealth your state, your mind with arts improve. Take a course, get you a place, observe his honor or his grace, or the king's real or his stamped face. Contemplate what you will, approve. So let so you will let me love. At the beginning of the poem, we see that Donne uses a blasphemous curse. For God's sake, hold your tongue. This blasphemous curse undermines all the expectations created in the mind of the reader by the title. The title is a reference to profound piety, whereas Donne begins his poem with a blasphemous curse. Here, the poetic voice is very frustrated and angry because of the behavior of the addressee. He says that the behavior of the addressee is limiting his ability to love. But his anger and his frustration is contrasted with the alliteration of L. Let me love. This alliteration denotes the softness and gentleness, whereas it is very much in contrast with the sharp anger that the lover feels. He tells the addressee that the addressee should criticize him because of some other inabilities, because of his physical deformity or infirmity. He refers to the words palsy or gout. Palsy is a kind of disease which causes the shaking in the limbs, and gout is the inflammation in the joints. The poetic voice refers to his age in a very hyperbolic way when he says, my 5 grey hairs. He also refers to his condition by the reference ruined fortune. It means that the poetic voice is not a poor person. He is a person who has lost his fortune. Here we see an alliteration of F, fortune cloud. This alliteration of F shows the anger of the poetic voice. He suggests a list of alternative works or actions the addressee could adopt in order to pass her time and to improve her mind. Here, the central idea is improve. It is also geometrically connected with the first clause. This inversion of the conventional word order and the omission of the verb till the end refers to a delayed gratification. This delayed gratification is something that the addressee might achieve if she devotes her time in this self improvement programs. So he tells the addressee to take a course. That means to take some program of self improvement. He keeps on giving a list of imperatives. This shows the authorial voice of the poetic voice. The meaning of get to a place means to get a job. The addressee could get a job, and by doing so, she could increase her own wealth. One previously suggested that the addressee could mock his ruin of fortune. And here he says that the addressee could increase her own wealth. He also refers that the addressee could observe the people in their status. The words His Grace and His Honor are the honorifics associated with the judges or the people who work in the church. Here, Dunn's reference to the occupation is very ironical. We know that Dunn has trained as a lawyer in Lincoln's Inn, but followed by his marriage to Anne Moore, he was rejected from the Holy Society, and he could only practice law within the church. He also told the addressee to watch the king himself. This may seem like a very valuable instruction, only it is not so when we see the juxtaposed alternative or his stamped face. This means the coins stamped with the face of King James I. The reference could be either watching the king or watching the king's face on the coin could be the same thing. The poetic voice tells the addressee to contemplate. He doesn't mind or he doesn't want to be bothered about how she chooses her time to be spent. He just tells what you will. He only wants to be able to love. He doesn't want anything to prevent his capacity to love her. Here, Donne adopts the form of an epistrophe, as we can see. Let us move on the second stanza. Alice, Alice, who is injured by my love, what merchant ship have my shies drowned? Who says my tears have overflowed his ground? When did my cords a forward spring remove? When did the heats which my veins fill add one more to the plaguey bill? Soldiers find war, and lawyers find out still litigious men. Which quarrels move, though she and I do love. The second stanza begins with an exclamatory Alice, but its use is very hyperbolic. This renders Donne's sardonic approach. He now asks a list of rhetorical questions about the things that his love has or has not affected. He says that his shies have not drowned any merchant's ship, his tears have not caused any flood, and his own cold have not delayed the spring. So, why his love is considered as dangerous? Donne here undermines the conventional use of patriarchal imagery of profound emotion has great effect on the things of nature. 14th century is a time associated with plague, and it is believed that the increased temperature caused the fever of plague. Donne says that his love does not increase the plague. So his love is not dangerous and he implies that it should be treated as something harmless, as something peaceful. Now Tan moves on to another list, a list of things that still keeps on occurring without their love being concerned. There are hatred in the outside world. There are people fighting wars in the outside world, and the lawyers are continuously arguing about something or other. And these things keep on going. The outside quarrels are in sharp contrast with the peaceful nature of Dunn's love. So Dunn says that the addressee should shift her attention to the outside quarrels, not on something insignificant, something peaceful as his love. His love is very peaceful and it should be allowed to go on. Now let us move on to the third stanza. Call us what you will, we are made such by love. Call her one, me another fly. We are tappers too, and at our own cost die. And we in us find the eagle and the dove. The phoenix riddle hath more wit. By us, we too, being one, are it. So, to one neutral thing, both sexes fit. We die and rise the same, and prove mysterious by this love. In the third stanza, outrightly dismisses all the complaints of the addressee. The stanza begins with what you will. He tells the addressee to call them whatever she prefers. The addressee may have told that their love is something very insignificant. Thus, Donne moves on to the nature of their love. Their love is like a fly. For the Elizabethans and the Jacobians, fly means a butterfly or a moth. When the addressee says that their love is something very insignificant, Donne immediately compares their love with the insignificant butterfly. He and his lover are both candles or tappers. The fly or the moth is attracted to the candle. The lover and the addressee both are the fly as well as the tapper. They attract each other and in their own cost they die. Here we can have a sexual pun in the word die. The Elizabethans and the Jacobians used to believe that sexual orgasm can reduce the life expectancy by a day. So, this may refer to the sexual relationship of the lover and the addressee of the poem. Donne continues the imagery of things that fly. He talks about the eagle and the dove. The eagle represents the power and the masculinity. The dove, on the other hand, represents the femininity. It might sound a bit sexist from today's point of view, but together they are one unit. The eagle and the dove together are one unit of love. Then concludes the imagery of flight with phoenix. Within phoenix, the dove and the eagle merge together. He claims that the riddle or the mystery of phoenix, how the phoenix is made, is significant because it has more wit to it, it has more substance to it. Both the lover and the addressee of this poem are eagle and dove, phoenix and fire, fly and candle. They have within themselves the two opposites, and together they make one unit. It is just the same way the eagle, the representation of masculinity, and the dove, the representation of femininity, come together to create the neutral form. So together they become the phoenix. They will die and rise the same. Their love, being immortal, will rise again and again as phoenix. Here we can have sexual pun with the word die. Let us move on to the fourth stanza. We can die by it if not live by love. And if unfit for tomes and hairs, our legends be, it will be fit for verse. And if not, and if no piece of chronicle we prove, we will build in sonnets pretty rooms. As will our well-wrought urn becomes the greatest ashes as half-acre tombs. And by these hymns all shall approve us canonized for love. The fourth stanza begins once again with the reference to die. Here it can mean the sexual relationship. This may resolve the apparent antithesis in the parallelism. So, die can mean literal death also. If the lovers are not allowed to love in their lives, they will continue to do so in their deaths. The harmony created by the alliteration of L, live by love. This shows the eternal nature of love. He says that if the wider world cannot recognize their love in death, using the terms tomes and hairs, they will recognize it in the form of poetry. He says that if their love is not sung in a chronicle, then they will have place within the sonnet form. Chronicle is a documentation or in history. Sonnet may be very small, but Dunn says that the form does not define the magnitude of what it contains. He uses the reference of death being contained within the well-wrought urn or half-acre tomb. Both are apt containers. This may also refer to the extension of social criticism represented in the first stanza. To strive for social betterment will lead only to death and destruction as well as oblivion, and all are equal in death. Donne refers to the verses as hymns. Here, he prepares the readers for the canonization of the lovers. The lovers will be canonized for their love because their love is something of great magnitude. The verses will considerably function as urns where their love will be recognizable to all. The profound nature of their love will be such that everyone in the world will regard them as miraculous lovers. Let us move on to the last stanza. Thus invoke us, you whom reverent love made one another's hermitage. You to whom love was peace and now is rage, who did the whole world's soul contract and drove into the glasses of your eyes. So made such mirrors and such spies that they did all to you epitomize. Countries, towns, courts beg from above a pattern of your love. In a Catholic tradition, a believer could invoke a saint to aid in their action. Donne here imagines that one person who believes in canonized lover would pray in such manner. In the Catholic hymn style, he would invoke the lovers. The lovers are once again identified as one. They are as one unit. They are one another's hermitage. We see the use of language from religious semantic field. A hermitage is a place where a person lives in seclusion for the religious purpose. Here, the love is compared to a religion, and the lovers are living in each other's hermitage, secluded from everyone else in the world. They are each other's hermitage. It seems that the future lovers will recognize the love of the poetic voice and the addressee of the poem as something peaceful. But this love has transformed into something rage in the future point in time. And those in future to aspire to love exhibited by these canonized lovers. The canonized lovers are presented as the microcosm of the world's soul. The word contract can have a double meaning. In one way, contract means to reduce in size. The canonized lovers have become the microcosm of the world's soul. The world's soul is contracted within them. On the other hand, the word contract have the meaning of bond that is formed between the canonized lovers and the future lover to show all the world the actual nature of love. We have an ascendantic list, the countries, towns, and courts. Everyone wants to be guided by this canonized lover. The canonized lover's eyes have been transformed into glasses, like mirrors, and everyone belonging from countries, towns, and courts want to look into the glasses to receive the guidance of love, to receive the true picture of love. The love between the poetic voice and the addressee of the poem is such a perfect example of love that everyone in the world has epitomized their love. It is this epitome of love that the society seeks. Hence, they are a pattern of love. This appears to be a reference to an ideal, in the same sense, the Platonic ideal, something to be measured against. Another thing is very interesting to note that each stanza begins with the word love and ends with the word love. This shows the all encompassing capability of love. So let us look at the structure of the poem. The poem has 5 stanzas with 9 lines each. The meter is more iambic, sometimes it is pentameter, sometimes it is tetrameter. But the last line is trimeter. This creates a brevity which adds some weight to the conclusion. The rhyme scheme is ABB, ACC, AA. So that concludes the discussion of this poem. I hope you have found this video useful and this would help you to prepare this poem better. For future videos like this, keep an eye on my channel and give the video a big thumbs up. Thank you. Bye bye.